as we'll get to that right now.
Welcome to the 2023 State Class A American Legion Baseball Tournament. We are thrilled to have the opportunity to play host to all of the teams who have earned their trip to Kindred, North Dakota for this year's state tournament. A special congratulations to all of the players and coaches for making it here. Best of luck as you fight for a Class A state championship, and thank you to all of the parents and fans who have traveled in support of your boys. Our goal for this tournament is to provide a top-notch, classy tournament that celebrates what each of these teams have accomplished. Once again, welcome to Kindred, and congratulations once again.
So we'll have the introduction of all the teams, and again, we'll have some presentations and much more coming up, and a flyover will be coming up here as part of these ceremonies.
3 volunteers.
There you see first off the Dickinson Volunteers.
Next, the number 1 team out of the East, Wahpeton Post 20.
They're going to go by the seeds, so Dickinson, the top team out of the West, Wahpeton Post 20, who got the job done earlier today with a victory over Watford City. Wahpeton Post 20 will be next, as and they kind of have a spot for all the teams on the field. Dickinson will be camped, I see at shortstop. Wahpeton will be hitting the field shortly. Actually, there's Wahpeton right there. Wahpeton Post 20 will make their way. Bismarck Senators will be next, number 2 team out of the West, and they'll be followed by the 2 team out of the East, the Castleton Haymakers. Castleton fresh off their 3-0 win over the Bismarck Capitals. Bismarck Senators are one of the feeder teams for the Bismarck Governors, which is the Class AA representative.
And now the number 2 team out of the East, Castleton Post 15 Haymakers.
The Castleton out of course, Post 15, the Haymakers will be next up. Here they come.
The number 3 seed out of the West, the Bismarck Capitals.
The Bismarck Capitals will be next. They are the independent team out of Bismarck. Shiloh Christian and Dwyer Field at their home base in the Baby Blues. Good showing today against Castleton. Falling short 3-0. They will play in the second game tomorrow. The West Fargo Vets will be next. Post 308. You see in the typical green and orange, the West Fargo baseball colors.
And now the number 4 seed out of the West, the Watford City Post 29 Walleye.
Watford City will be next, the Walleye. I always thought the Haymakers was the best name in the tournament. I think the Walleye might pass it, but here comes Watford City. By far making by a long shot, the longest trip from Watford City to Kindred. There you see the Walleye team and coaching staff. Of course, they hosted it last year.
And finally, your host team, the Kindred Post 117 Vikings.
And last but not least, the host team, the number 4 seed, Post 117 Vikings out of host Kindred. They make their way from the first base dugout.
Will also enter the field. Thank you, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen,
umpiring crew is next.
It brings me great pleasure to introduce to you our tournament director and the director of Kindred Youth Baseball. Paul Quislin is a teacher at Kindred High Schools, has 36 years of teaching experience, 42 years of coaching experience, and has led our organization since 2002. Under Paul's helm, our summer program has seen members increase drastically, our facilities have improved tremendously, and our programs are consistently competing at a high level. Paul is a former captain and alum of the UND baseball program and is originally from Finley, North Dakota. He is married to Melissa and has 2 children, Jake and Kate, and 2 grandchildren. Paul would like to take a moment to welcome you all to the State Legion Baseball Tournament.
Down to the field
Paul,
now,
the mic
and
is all yours.
very familiar face and voice in Paul Quislen.
This working? Thanks a lot for that. Who made up that speech? Good evening and welcome to Viking Varsity Diamond here at Kindred, North Dakota for the 2023 Class A Legion Baseball Tournament. My name is Paul Quislen, the President and Director of Kindred Youth Baseball. But along with that title, that means I clean bathrooms and empty garbages, etc. Because that's how a true program needs to run if it's going to be successful. We have many board members and volunteers that feel the same way. And they have put in a ton of time and effort to prepare and hopefully make your state tournament experience a very positive one. As you may have noticed, the diamond itself is in incredible shape, and that is due to the never-ending care that Mr. Dan Nathan continues to put in. I am a baseball guy through and through, as many people around here would attest to. I have a home plate-shaped concrete pad holding up my mailbox. My son just got married on this very home plate on July 1st, and my wife will agree most of our vacations are all formed around trips to Target Field. I played my last year of Legion baseball in 1982 for Hope Finley, and then stepped in and took over as the head Legion coach. So I have been involved with summer baseball for the past 40 years, including the last 23 here at Kindred. The facility here, in 2013, we redid the infield and the outfield and put in a sprinkler system. And then in 2020, we went back to work on the facilities surrounding the diamond. And that was all made possible by the impressive support we received from our local businesses and individuals. You will hear us multiple times throughout the tournament asking you to support our local establishments, and we sincerely hope that you do. We are very proud of our facility, but more importantly, we are excited to share it with all of you over the next 5 days. We extend a heartfelt welcome to all the West qualifying teams: Dickinson, Bismarck Senators, Bismarck Capitals, and Watford City, as I believe this is your first trip to Kindred. We also welcome back Wahpeton and West Fargo, as you have visited us a couple times since our move to Class A. And we welcome Castleton, our neighbors and rivals from the north. We have been battling on the diamonds for years, and we respect and value the competitive nature we bring out in each other. We're kind of like brothers. We wake up every day and there the other one is. So we strap it up and go to battle, wanting desperately to beat each other, but in the end it's the excitement of the challenge that fuels the rivalry. We are genuinely happy that you have made the short trip south to join us this weekend. This weekend, we are here to celebrate the baseball accomplishments of the last 8 North Dakota Class A Legion teams left standing and fighting for the 2023 championship. As the sign out beyond center field says, if you build it, they will come. Well, we built it, and you all came. I cannot tell you how genuinely excited I am to officially welcome you to the newly renovated Kindred Varsity Diamond for the 2023 Legion A Baseball Tournament. And we sincerely hope that your time here is going to be memorable and fully enjoyed. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Well said, the words of
At this
Paul
time,
Quislen.
we would like all players and coaches to recite the American Legion Baseball Code of Sportsmanship. And to do that, Sean Gunderson, the American Legion representative.
Please repeat after me. I will keep the rules, keep faith with my teammates, keep my temper, keep myself fit, keep a stout heart in defeat, keep my pride under in victory, keep a sound soul, a clean mind, and a healthy heart.
Thank you, Sean. It now brings me great honor to welcome to the field at this time 4 of our local post-117 Legionnaires as they present our nation's colors. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and remove your headgear as we welcome Dean Anvik, Harry Spellhoff, Pat Schmidt, and Greg Platt to the field.
Now our national anthem. Colors being presented, heading to the diamond right now. We will have the singing of our national anthem here momentarily. Viking Varsity Diamond here, opening ceremonies on night number 1 of the North Dakota State Class A Legion Baseball Tournament. The final game will come up at the top of the hour here with the host Post 117 Vikings and the Dickinson Volunteers.
Singing the national anthem tonight will be Heidi Hess. Heidi is a Kindred resident, a paraprofessional with our elementary school, is married to her husband Jay, and they have 3 boys and a girl. When Heidi is finished singing, please stay at attention as a color guard departs the field. Enjoy listening to Heidi as she sings the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we walked were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets rang on, the bombs bursting out, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner wave o'er the land and of the free and the home of the brave.
Colors leaving the field. There was the flyover. Came in from the kind of northwest to southeast as the colors. Legion representatives leaving the field, as you can see, towards the middle of your screen.
Let's give our Legionnaires a round of applause. And how about that national anthem from Heidi Hess, ladies and gentlemen? Special thank you for that wonderful flyover from Kelly Paris, flying a 1954 T6 Warbird. Let's get ready to play some baseball, folks. There's going to be infield practice coming up, and then we're set to start this ball game at 7 p.m. Thanks, everybody.
So there's your opening ceremonies, as we'll take a pause here for a few minutes anyway, and we'll see if we get to hear from some of our sponsors, and both the Vikings and the Volunteers will get a round of infield and set to. So far, all the games have been fairly short games, basically, for the most part. 2 pitchers duels and a 5-inning blowout in game 1, all around an hour and a half or less. So should be right on time, if not maybe a couple minutes before 7 o'clock. But teams will get a round of infield here with the Vikings and the Volunteers. Hope you enjoyed the opening ceremonies. It was very well done, put together. Great version of the national anthem, the flyover. Pretty cool stuff as we get you ready for the fourth and final game as the East trying to go for the sweep with Kindred Post 117 taking on the Dickinson Volunteers. First meetings, I believe, since they met in the 2019 state tournament out in Bismarck, the year the Vikings won the Class A title. We'll come back in a few minutes. Looking forward to this fourth and final game on Friday here of day one of the Class A State Legion Baseball Tournament from Viking Varsity Diamond. And Kindred will be back in a few minutes. Stay with us here at Magnitude Sports.
Mitso Magic Services is locally owned and operated out of Bismarck, North Dakota. They provide the services you need to keep your home looking great. Whether it's lawn mowing or snow removal, get the job done for a reasonable and affordable rate with Mitso Magic Services. Mitso Magic Services also offers weed control, landscaping, tree trimming, and yard cleanup services and more. Want some magic done to your yard? You know who to call. Mitso Magic Services. Contact Jaden today at 701-333-9791 or visit them on Facebook by searching Mitso Magic Services.
Touchmark provides a carefree lifestyle for our residents, and we are here with you the entire way.
I'm so happy I made the move to Touchmark.
There's always enough to keep me busy, and people are very friendly here. I enjoy that. It makes my day.
People get up and dance. I mean, it's such a joyful place to live. How can you not like it?
That sense of community is so strong. When I think of Touchmark, I just think big, but I think beautiful, and I think home.
Bar 9 in West Fargo is your stop for that pregame lunch and for the postgame celebration. With over 30 TVs, you can catch your team anytime. We have a delicious food menu including wings, pizza, sandwiches, and more. Enjoy it inside or head on outside, day or night, to relax in the comfort of our updated outdoor patio. We also have slots, blackjack, pull tabs, and all gaming proceeds earned go to support West Fargo baseball. So catch your team's game tonight at Bar 9, 1405 Prairie Parkway in West Fargo.
Hey, it's Mike with Magnitude Sports. Check out this channel right here, Dakota Fins and Feathers Outdoors. It's owned and operated by a family in Bismarck, North Dakota that I've known for over 2 decades. Kids have grown up into fine young men, and during their high school careers, some of them even played games that were broadcast on Magnitude Sports. If you like hunting, fishing, general outdoor life, sunrise, sunset, everything hunting and fishing related, dogs, hunting dogs, they're the best. Then check out the channel and show them some love. Go to Fins and Feathers Outdoors. Subscribe to them today.
I kind of wonder where to even begin about what I love about Touchmark. It's everything. It's the time with the residents. It's my team. I work with wonderful individuals every single day. I love the people, and my job is to connect with them, and that's a pretty great job to have, that you get to make genuine, real connections with our residents and our team members. It's just the overall community. That is Touchmark. That's what I love.
Your full life happens here at Touchmark.
I think what makes Proceed win is we're different than the other companies in many ways with our programming, our simplicity, our non-corporate attitudes, and our personal relationship building.
What Proceed is, we bring back the old-fashioned seed buying experience. We're true seedsmen. We care about everything from the sale to the planting to following up afterwards. That's what we're all about, is just trying to bring that experience back to a personal level.
Need seed, think Proceed. Proceed.net, great seed at a reasonable price.
Boston Pizza harnessed Fanalytics to help optimize no-look dipping. Ooh, making adjustments so you can stay focused on the game. The playoffs at Boston Pizza, powered by Fanalytics.
At Boston's, we make crowd pleasers like this.
Yes.
Woo! And these.
So good!
And definitely this.
I love you! Woo!
Stop by or book your catering order online and we'll make you a fan.
You see the Volunteers taking their infield right now. Dickinson, the champions out of the West region, as the number 2 seed, survived a little bit of a scare in their opening round against 10-seeded Beulah, won 12-9, but they ran the board in the West region tournament in Mandan with wins over the Bismarck Reps and then beat the Bismarck Senators 6-5. We'll get kind of more in detail on that when we get a little deeper into the broadcast here tonight. And the Vikings already knew as the host team that they were getting in, and I think admittedly probably didn't play their best region tournament, as the 2-seeded Vikings really struggled. A 9-run inning early in that game, a 9-run third, and that's one thing in that East region tournament. When teams had big innings, it seemed like the third inning was the big inning, and there was probably no bigger inning than that in that tournament than what Devils Lake did to the Vikings. And a lot of mistakes in the field, 3-4 errors in the field, and a 12-2 win in 6 for the Vikings opening game, but then they responded well, trying to come through the back door, and then they won by a score of 12-7 over the West Fargo Aces. And then in their final game, and really it was going to be, they're playing for basically the 3 or the 4 seed, knowing that they had that state tournament berth, were held to 1 hit as the West Fargo Vets were victorious by a score of 3-0. Jack Wold worked around 6 walks, gave up just 3 hits and 2 earned runs over 5 and a third innings. And again, they knew, and it's one thing when we already know we're in the state tournament, but I think you want to try and play well and set an example, maybe try and set yourself up seed-wise. And well, they ended up as the number 4 seed, but knowing they're playing at home, they play very well on this diamond. They hit very well on this diamond, and they'll face a Dickinson team that, I know, talked with Josh Almaris during the week. You just don't face these teams a whole lot. They faced one team out from the West, Mandan. The Ace came here for part of that Post 400 West Fargo Kindred Invitational that was played 3 weekends ago now. Bismarck Senators were in that tournament. Mandan was here. Dickinson was not. So it definitely, there's a little bit of an unknown factor, but I think you just kind of lean to the fact, you know what, if we play our game, we'll be fine. And I think you look at the previous 2 games, a lot of pitching and defense, what the West Fargo Vets did against the Bismarck Senators, a 3-0 win, and what Castleton did pitching and defense. And talking with Haymakers coach Mitch Shear after that game, boy, the Haymakers made the plays in the field, and really, if anything, they maybe left some runs and some offensive opportunities on the table, but got it done. Brendan Maggio was excellent, 85 pitches and a complete game win, as the Haymakers await the winner of this matchup here with the Volunteers and the Vikings. And I think probably a lot of people around here looking at, you know, Castleton and Kindred and anything, it never disappoints, and the Vikings would like to get a shot. They haven't played the Haymakers. The matchup in the regular season came in the opening week of play. It was back on June the 9th in Castleton, where Kindred split, and they would need a win tonight to get a chance at the Haymakers, and that would be the final game of the evening tomorrow, set for about 6:30 in that matchup here at Viking Varsity Diamonds. The loser of this game would play at 1:30 versus the Bismarck Reps. So Dickinson trying to save a little face here for the West. The fact that the East has won 3 games and 3 shutouts. It's been, as far as runs go, 23-0 in favor of the East. Wahpeton, of course, made quick work of Watford City. 17-0 the final there. Wahpeton not only got the win, combined no-hitter with 2 pitchers, but didn't have to use really their two big guns on the mound yet with Jaden King and Caden Kappas. So Chris Kappas' team, which ran the board, and to do that in what a very balanced, and, you know, talking with Josh Almaris, radio interview during the week, where he just said this is really, in this division, since they've gone to 3 classes, this middle classes parity is really the thing. You just never know from night to night, and there was so much balance in the East. And for Wahpeton to do what they did in the regular season, to run the board and really didn't get pushed too often, really just shows how deep and strong that they have been. But you got to take care of it, and I'm sure they remember what happened last year in the state tournament, getting bounced maybe a little earlier than they thought, maybe expected, as Castleton had that run last year out in Watford City to win the championship. And you look back at it, since they've gone to 3 classes, you know, you've had some of the schools, but posts and programs that weren't the feeder teams from the big programs. Wahpeton won 2 years ago. Kindred won back in 2019 in dramatic fashion out in Bismarck over the Fargo Jets that year, and just 2 wonderfully played championship games back in 2019. Remember it well, and then what the Haymakers did last year as well. So it's been dominated by the East and by some of the programs not part of Post 2 or Post 400 or West Fargo for the most part. We'll take a timeout. We'll have our starting lineups coming up here momentarily as the Volunteers have gotten through their round of infield. Vikings will do so now. We'll have the starting lineups coming up momentarily and much more as we get you ready for a 7 o'clock first pitch with Post 117 at Dickinson coming up as this will finish up day number 1. 4 more games tomorrow, 3 Sunday, 2 Monday, and the championship maybe a second if needed on Tuesday afternoon. We come back with more on Magnitude Sports in just a moment.
There's never a bored moment at Touchmark.
Here, it's always something going on. If I want to do it, I do it. If I don't, I don't.
The whole community has so much going on, activities for each day, basically, and everything's right there.
There's always enough to keep me busy.
We have stuff day to day, such as gardening club, but we also have our big signature events like our Touchmark Woodstock event. There's never really a time to be bored if you don't want to be. Practice.
There's no question that yield is at the core of everything we do at Stein. It's why we are here today, and it's what will continue to propel us and our growers into the future of agriculture. Stein Enlist E3 soybeans provide a significant dollar per acre yield benefit, plus access to the best weed control in the industry. That is yield plus results. Yield expected, yield delivered. Stein Enlist E3 soybeans have yield.
Gordy's Travel Plaza continues to improve products and services. Now open is the Beer Cave with wines and spirits. Pick up a fresh-made Sandy's donut along with a fresh bean-to-cup coffee or espresso. How about our tasty popcorn with warm butter on top, or cool down with the all-new Fresh Blend shakes, smoothies, frappes, frazzles, and more. Now open is Champ's Chicken, Hangar 54 Pizza, and Hot Mex Express. We are excited for you to try out the all-new items at Gordy's Travel Plaza in Castleton, serving Castleton and the surrounding communities for over 55 years.
Vikings continuing on with their round of infield. Post 117 Vikings on their home field since the upgrades, and Paul Quislen talked about that at the opening ceremonies. And it's been fun being around this ballpark over the years from what it used to be compared to what it is now, where it was an all-dirt infield and the press box was about a quarter of the size as this one is. And we kind of feared for our safety at times in that thing. And things have changed over the years and for the good, and Paul Quislen making that a lot of people stepping up. And I used to joke when they kind of made the capital campaign about 4 years ago, and you'd see Quiz at a football or basketball game, and somebody was handing him a check. Here's $500. Here's another $500. Here's $1,000. And there was a lot of people that chipped in to make this a reality. And this is really the third kind of big tournament they've had. They had the State Class B Babe Ruth tournament here in 2020. They hosted the East Region tournament for Class A Legion 2 summers ago, and then this really kind of the big one, the biggest of the three here, getting a State Legion tournament. And talking with Josh Olmeris during the week, is that they found out last fall that their bid won. And I think we're blessed in this state with so many great facilities, and what they have out in Watford City, and Castleton's a nice facility, and they're trying to do some upgrades there. And what we've seen at Story and Bank Field is they're going to have the State AA Legion tournament. We're just for this size of state to have the quality of facilities we've had, you can certainly put this one on the list as well. As this is a very neat facility. You've got a grandstand, a good crowd assembled here for this one, obviously with the home team involved, and looking forward to see how things shake out here with the Vikings. The Vikings were the number 2 seed out of the East as they went 13-7, tied with Castleton for second, got the 2 seed on the tiebreaker. The Volunteers were 12-6 out of a pretty tightly packed West Division. The Bismarck Senators were the number 1 seed at 15-3. The Volunteers had the tiebreaker over the Bismarck Capitals and Reps at 12-6, and then Mandan 11-7. And much like we saw in the East, where teams like the Bombers and the West Fargo Aces and the Post 400 Astros, good teams that certainly were capable and had the talent to be here, got left on the doorstep. And same thing out west, where Mandan and the Watford City Walleye, the 6th seed, sneaking in. And they will be in the loser out round tomorrow. That will be the first game of the day. You'll hear it here on watch it here on Magnitude Sports with an 11 a.m. first pitch on that one. As the umpires, Kelly McNary, Tom Perry, among the trio of the umpiring crew, visiting with both coaches. Josh Olmeris out there. We'll take one final timeout. Come back, starting lineups. First pitch for the Vikings and the Volunteers on a beautiful night here in rural Cass County. We'll be right back.
There's never a bored moment at Touchmark.
Here, it's always something going on. If I want to do it, I do it. If I don't, I don't.
The whole community has so much going on, activities for each day basically, and everything's right there.
There's always enough to keep me busy.
We have stuff day to day, such as gardening club, but we also have our big signature events like our Touchmark Woodstock event. There's never really a time to be bored if you don't want to be.
Mitso Magic Services is locally owned and operated out of Bismarck, North Dakota. They provide the services you need to keep your home looking great. Whether it's lawn mowing or snow removal, get the job done for a reasonable and affordable rate with Mitso Magic Services. Mitso Magic Services also offers weed control, landscaping, tree trimming, and yard cleanup services and more. Want some magic done to your yard? You know who to call. Mitzel Magic Services. Contact Jaden today at 701-333-9791 or visit them on Facebook by searching Mitzel Magic Services.
With Chris Hovden. He's doing all the heavy lifting. Brad Anderson here for window dressing and window dressing only. Back here at the Viking Varsity Diamonds in Kindred. There you see the Kindred non-starters being introduced right now. The Vikings, even though it's the home diamond, they are the number 4 seed from the East, will be the visiting team on the scoreboard. They'll hit first. Leading off will be the center fielder, Mason Olmeris. Batting second at shortstop is Jack Wold. Batting third at third base, Nick Thompson. Batting fourth at first base, Jack Packer. Batting fifth at second base, Graham Glosso. Batting sixth and catching, Jeremiah Doctor. Batting seventh will be the designated hitter, Bryce Whipple. He'll DH for the right fielder, Xander Rath. Jorgen Swenson will be on the hill for the Vikings. He'll hit eighth, and batting ninth will be the left fielder, Stan Belaski. So for the Vikings, under head coach Josh Olmeris, assisted by Paul Quislin, Nick Eggman, and Dean Wixo, it's Olmeris, Wold, and Thompson, Packer, Glosso, and Doctor, Whipple, Swenson, and Belaski. For the Dickinson Volunteers, the 2 seed, the champions out of the West. Carson Backer, the head coach, assisted by Jaron Huglin. They held off a late charge in the final to win the tournament. Had a 6-2 lead and held off the Bismarck Senators 6-5 in that championship matchup. They'll go with Easton Huglin leading things off at first base. Batting second will be the second baseman, Nick Soblik. Batting third and pitching will be Will Easom. Batting fourth will be the third baseman, Tyler Danbob. Batting fifth and catching will be Christian Tibor. Kevin Olson will bat sixth in left field. Jake Balliot batting seventh in center field. Sam Luton batting eighth and right, and batting ninth will be the shortstop, Cameron Wolf. Huglin, Soblik, and Easom, Danbob, Tibor, and Olson, Balliot, Luton, and Wolf for the Dickinson Volunteers, as the Volunteers taking the field right now as they, as we mentioned, really pitched very well. 5-2 win over the Bismarck Reps. As far as pitching goes for Dickinson, Kevin Olson beat the Reps a complete game in a 5-2 win with the distance. Gave up 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, hit 2 and struck out 3. So he had 6 hits in that matchup. Easton Huglin had a double, 2 runs batted in. Nick Soblik 1 for 3 and an RBI as well. Bismarck scored, the Senators scored 3 in the 7th in that championship game for a 6-5 victory. Winning pitcher in that one was Drew Gable for Dickinson. 6 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, 1 wild pitch, and 1 strikeout. Logan Gross got the final out to pick up the save. As it'll be Easom taking his warm-up tosses for Dickinson, post 3. Of course, Dickinson busy as the Class AA tournament continuing on out there. Post 2 clinching a berth for the Central Plains Regional. Come from behind 6-4 win. Williston eliminating Bismarck, so Williston and West Fargo playing for that, really that second spot. And I believe is that one underway, or it will be shortly. Of course, Mike Mason out there for the call of those games out in Dickinson, as Mason Olmeris will lead things off here for the Kindred Post 117 Vikings. Chris Larson, the umpire, down the third base line. Kelly McNary at first, and the veteran Tom Perius is behind the plate, umpiring about his 8,000th state tournament game. He's done a bunch of them. Olmeris will lead things off. First pitch, 6 before the hour, and strike 1 to Olmeris, 0-1. And he's had an outstanding season, not just in the high school ranks, but also here in Legion Ball as well. Playing for his dad, Josh, 3 hits, 5 runs batted in, and a 12-10 win over the West Fargo Aces last Friday. A ball here, and it's 1-1. For a lot of these guys, they got to play in the state Babe Ruth tournament here on the home field 3 years ago, so they're kind of used to the, playing in big games in this park. Inside 2-1 the count. Josh Olmeris in the third base coaching box, and Nick Eggman over at first. 2-1. Just missed inside. 3-1 the count. Wold and Thompson will follow. The Vikings One game where they hit particularly well and then held to just 3 hits. 6 errors did them in against Devils Lake in the opening round. There's a strike, and the string is out at 3-2. But they hit well, and when they go well, and they've gone well this year offensively, they get contributions up and down the lineup. 3-2, and there's a leadoff walk. So a good battle there between Eastham and Olmeris and a leadoff walk. That'll bring up Jack Wold. Jack Wold, a hit and an RBI against the West Fargo Aces. Last Friday in that win, he had the lone hit. A 3-0 loss to the West Fargo Vets. Hitless against Devils Lake. Stands back in the batter's box. That back foot right on the back line of the box. Throw to first and the runner back. Worked up a sweat, Dan Nathan. Yes, you did. You've got it looking good. I'm gonna give you most of the credit. I don't know. I say you're a flying drone expert. I know that. There's a ball. Runner goes and a stolen base. Head first dive, and he's in. Pitch, I believe, was a ball to Wold and 1-0. So I believe it was ball 1, but kind of going back to the point earlier, Olmeris, when he keys things to the top of the order, not saying it exclusively and specifically comes around him, but when he's on the bases, it just seems like everything kind of flows from there. They've got some big thumpers in the middle of the order with Nick Thompson, multiple homers this year. Jack Packer's a guy and gets extra base power. Wold showing butt in the dirt, blocked nicely. Really nice job to let the chest protector do the work by Tibor. And it's 1-1. First pitch was a strike, so 1-1 the count. Glad you're tuned in wherever you might be here in Magnitude Sports. After a rainy and cloudy start today, it's really turned into a beautiful evening. Here's a 1-1 from Eastham in the dirt. Good block again by Tibor, and it's 2-1. Huglin at first, kind of coming in with the pitch, and we'll see if the bunt is still on right now with Wold at the plate, a guy that can more than handle his own at the dish here for the Vikings. 2-1. That's into right and caught for the out. And it played just about right. Nice grab there by Luton for the out. And Olmeris had to freeze in the line drive, and there's one out. I'll bring up Nick Thompson, third baseman. I was talking with Nick before the game. I said, "You pitching tonight?" He says, "No, it's Jorgen's night." We'll see. We'll probably see Nick at some point on the mound, maybe tomorrow, perhaps Sunday, if the Vikings at least win one for sure. Thompson pitch in on his hands in ball 1. So Eastham was curious to see how he pitches Thompson and also Jack Packer, guys that have some power and can provide some extra base punch for the Vikings. Pickoff play at second. Kind of a neighborhood play there between both middle infielders with Soblik and Wolf, and Olmeris aware and able to get back. There's things that have hurt the Vikings at times. It's kind of some base running snafus in the field. There was a game against the Fargo Jets this year. Swing and a miss. A breaking pitch there at about in front where they had a half inning where they had 3 guys thrown out of the base paths in 1 inning, either on the bases or at the plate. And granted, it's just kind of one of those things, but sometimes those little things add up. You certainly can't have that once you get to this point of the season. Eastham checks the runner at second a couple of times and fouled at plate. Out off the body of the batter Thompson, 1-2. 13 pitches in so far. See some Castleton fans sticking around, and they're waiting with curiosity to see who their opponent will be tomorrow night, though the finale around 6:30 versus the winner of this matchup, either the Volunteers or the Vikings. Olmeris is on the move, and a fly ball to right, playable as Luton has it measured. Olmeris will jog his way back to second. Catch is made for the out. 2 down. Olmeris had that base stolen. He got a mighty big jump, but had to scurry back. And that'll bring up Jack Packer. Packer 3 hits in that win over the Aces in the East Region Tournament in Castleton. 3 hits, a double, and 2 runs batted in. Vikings in their 2 losses in the regional held to 2 runs. and then put up double figures against the Aces inside ball one. He has not gotten that inside strike so far, has the right-hander Easom. Really, both teams, it was kind of jammed after the one seeds. There's a drive into right center field. That one's deep. That's going to be over the head, just out of the reach of Luton into the wall. Almaris will score. Packer glides into second. He has an RBI double, and the Vikings have a 1-0 lead. Well, there they got one over Luton's head and to the wall. So first run of the game for the 4 seed out of the East, and Graham Glasso will hit. Try and keep the line moving with 2 out. Glasso hitless against the West Fargo Aces. 1 for 3, had 1 hit in the East Region Tournament. That was a single against Devils Lake in the opening game. All misses inside 1-0. Not only has the East won so far today, 3 shutouts. 17-0. Wahpeton made quick work of. They caught and swallowed up the walleye, no pun intended, of Watford City in game 1, and then a couple of 3-0 tight pitchers duels with the vets of West Fargo and Castleton taking care of the Bismarck teams, the Senators and the Reps in that order, striking 1-1. Easom, the right-hander, had 18 pitches here in the top of the first. Set, and the delivery. Oh, for a ball, 2-1. Last year, the Vikings were the champions out of the East. Got beat by Watford City in the opening game. Wouldn't that be ironic? The Vikings, who lost to the host team in the opening round at state, trying to flip things to their favor in that regard. Swing and a miss. 2-2 now to Glasso. But they'd like to think that they're going to win not just because it's at home. They just think they're a good ball club, and when they play well, they're about as good as anybody. Kind of hit a little bit of a lull at the end of the regular season. Lost 3 of 4 at home, split with Devils Lake at the end of the regular season, and then got shut down by Wahpeton. A drive into left center, and that's down for a base hit. Packer will be waved in by Josh Olmaris. The throw will come all the way through to the plate, not in time. That'll allow Glasso to second. Throw there is late. And Glasso plays 2 out bingo with an RBI single. It's 2-0 Vikings. So a little 2-out thunder there, a pair of 2-out hits. And with the throw coming all the way through, a depth base running by Glasso to take off and get to second. And now a 2-0 lead with the batter Jeremiah Doctor. That's another thing, too, when the Vikings have gone well. There have been games where they get a lot of 2-out runs and stringing rallies together and keeping rallies going with 2 out. Jeremiah Doctor, left-handed hitting catcher. Widespread stance at the plate, and he lines one to center. It is caught for the out. Well hit ball, but Balliot in a couple of steps to make the grab, but the Vikings, a leadoff walk from Olmaris, and a pair of 2-out hits give them the early advantage. First chance for the Volunteers at the plate. They'll be down early. It's 2-0 Kindred. Half inning complete here from the State Class A Legion Baseball Tournament. From Viking Varsity Diamonds, it continues after this on Magnitude Sports.
Mitso Magic Services is locally owned and operated out of Bismarck, North Dakota. They provide the services you need to keep your home looking great. Whether it's lawn mowing or snow removal, get the job done for a reasonable and affordable rate with Mitso Magic Services. Mitso Magic Services also offers weed control, landscaping, tree trimming, and yard cleanup services and more. Want some magic done to your yard? You know who to call. Mitso Magic Services. Contact Jaden today at 701-333-9791 or visit them on Facebook by searching Mitso Magic Services.
Touchmark provides a carefree lifestyle for our residents, and we are here with you the entire way.
I'm so happy I made the move to Touchmark.
There's always enough to keep me busy, and people are very friendly here. I enjoy that. It makes my day.
People get up and dance. I mean, it's such a joyful place to live. How can you not like it?
That sense of community is so strong. When I think of Touchmark, I just think big, but I think beautiful, and I think home.
22 pitch first inning for Eastham, and Jorgen Swenson has some runs to work with. And a 2-0 Kindred lead early on as, just checking here, I don't believe Swenson, see if he pitched it all in the, actually did. He got the win over the West Fargo Aces last Friday. 5 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs. He walked 2 and struck out 4. Went 5 in that victory. Jack McDonald and Carson Andel finished up. Ball 1 here. No, strike 1, says Tom Perius to Easton Hughlin. Hughlin at first base. Swenson back and deals. Missed up, and 1-1 the count. Hughlin, their opening round game against Beulah, 2 walks, 2 runs scored and a run batted in, and a 12-9 victory. Caught on and missed here, and it is 1-2 the count. Hughlin had a double, 2 runs batted in, 5-2 win over the Bismarck Reps last Friday. And the delivery here. Here's a swing at a looper out into left field. Belaski makes the call and the catch for out number 1. Hughlin retired, 1 down here in the bottom of the first inning. That'll bring up Nick Soblik. Nick Soblik in that tournament had 4 hits. He had at least 1 hit, going 4 for 10 in the region tournament. Had a double against Beulah, scored 3 runs. And the delivery. A good breaking pitch there, over for a strike. When he's on his command, he probably has the best command, I think, of anybody in this Kindred pitching staff. He's really, I think, the best overall strike thrower. His just really solid. Mixes his pitch as well. Strike it, it's 0-2. I think that's the biggest reason he's on the mound tonight. And the Vikings have enough pitching to get through a tournament run. There's a lot of guys they can call upon. Fouled away. Nick Thompson 1. Mason Olmeris. Jack Wold's another 1. 2 strikes. Shut out Castleton early in the season, did Swenson upstairs, and it's 1-2 the count. But just kind of looking at the numbers here, this is a volunteer team that's pretty solid up and down the lineup, especially in that top 3-4 batters in the order. Nice job to fight that one off. Emergency hack from Sobolik, and it's 1-2. Boy, a beautiful night. Wind kind of blowing out to left center field. Swing and a miss, and it is held for strike 3. Doctor will throw down to first just to be sure, and there is a strikeout and 2 down. So 2 away. Will Eastham will try and help his own cause here with 2 outs. 77 degrees right now. Winds due north 10 miles an hour. So wind from the north, the wind blowing out basically the flag pointing out towards the scoreboard in left and left center. Ball makes it 1-0, and we saw if the ball was hit out that way, I think Carter Verkota's extra, well, it ended up being a single, thought it was going to be an extra base hit, was one that was pretty good proof of that. Eastham pops it up. Doctor chasing, may have room, and just out of play. And it's a ball and a strike to count. So the schedule for tomorrow, loser out games at 11. Watford City will take on the Bismarck Senators. The Bismarck Capitals will play the loser of this game at 1:30. So either Kindred Post 117 or the Dickinson Volunteers. 1-1. Try to breaking pitch. Spiked that one into the dirt, and it's 2-1 now to Eastham with Tyler Danbaum on deck. 2-1, popped up, playable. Swenson will make the call a few feet in front of the mound, waits and squeezes it with 2 hands. 1-2-3 inning on 13 pitches as the Volunteers down in order in the bottom of the first inning. We're through 1. Kindred with a 2-0 lead. Back with more from the State Class A Legion Baseball Tournament on Magnitude Sports in just a moment.
Bar 9 in West Fargo is your stop for that pregame lunch and for the postgame celebration. With over 30 TVs, you can catch your team anytime. We have a delicious food menu including wings, pizza, sandwiches, and more. Enjoy it inside or head on outside, day or night, to relax in the comfort of our updated outdoor patio. We also have slots, blackjack, pull tabs, and all gaming proceeds earned go to support West Fargo baseball. So catch your team's game tonight at Bar 9, 1405 Prairie Parkway in West Fargo.
Hey, it's Mike with Magnitude Sports. Check out this channel right here, Dakota Fins and Feathers Outdoors. It's owned and operated by a family in Bismarck, North Dakota that I've known for over 2 decades. Kids have grown up into fine young men, and during their high school careers, some of them even played games that were broadcasted on Magnitude Sports. If you like hunting, fishing, general outdoor life, sunrise, sunset, everything hunting and fishing related, dogs, hunting dogs, they're the best. Then check out the channel and show them some love. Go to Fins and Feathers Outdoors. Subscribe to them today.
Bottom third of the Kindred order here in the top of the second with a 2-0 advantage, a 14-pitch first inning. Correction on that for Jorgen Swenson. Bryce Whipple will lead things off. He DHs tonight for Xander Rath in right field. So Easom rocks and fires. Tap to third. Nice play there by Danbaum. He was waiting for a hop, but it kind of skipped on him, but stayed with it. And retiring Whipple on one pitch. Here in the top of the second.
Brings up the pitcher, number 2, Jorgen Swenson.
Jorgen Swenson, the batter. Swenson in the 8th spot tonight. Jorgen 1 for 3. Had 1 hit. The East Region tournament that came against the West Fargo Aces. First pitch swinging. Fly ball to center. Playable. Now drifting back a few steps and one handing it is Balliot out in center field. So 2 pitches and 2 outs so far here in the top of the second inning. That'll bring up Stan Belaski.
That brings up the left fielder, number 0, Stanley Belaski.
So I wonder if somebody whispered in Stan's ear, you might want to take, let's take a pitch or 2 here. It's a rule. It's, I don't want to say it's unwritten, but let's see if Stan takes a couple. Well, he spiked a 57-footer, so there's his start. 1-0 the count. See if first 2 batters go down quickly. He's like, hey, you know what? Go ahead and take a pitch or 2. Let's let our pitcher catch his breath here for a moment. Strike at the shins, and it's 1-1. So we're going to get the low strike more than the high strike if the early indications are, as you tend to try to read Tom Perius' strike zone. Good pitch. Came in that time at the knees of the inside corner, and Belaski down to the count at 1-2. So Easom looking for a good bounce back inning here after getting nicked for a couple in the first. Try to curve and miss. 2-2. Almaris on deck, but 2 down here in the inning. 4 games tomorrow starting at 11, 1:30, 4 and 6:30 if things go according to the clock. Noon will be the start time Sunday, 3 o'clock Monday. There's a swing and a fly ball to right, playable. Luton's been busy out there, and he gathers that one in. Nice bounce back inning, a 7-pitch, 1-2-3 top of the second. The Vikings down in order. Through an inning and a half here at Viking Varsity Diamond. It remains 2-0 Kindred. We're back in just a moment from Magnitude Sports.
Kind of wonder where to even begin about what I love about Touchmark. It's everything. It's the time with the residents. It's my team. I work with wonderful individuals every single day. I love the people, and my job is to connect with them, and that's a pretty great job to have, that you get to make genuine, real connections with our residents and our team members. It's just the overall community. That is Touchmark. That's what I love.
Your full life happens here at Touchmark.
Big thanks to our sponsors, Touchmark, Kindred Area Arts Partnership, Castleton Cold Storage, the Red Baron in Castleton, Boston's Pizza, among others. Glad you're with us here at Magnitude Sports. Tyler Danbaum to face Jorgen Swenson. Fastball low and away, ball one. Tibor and Kevin Olson will follow for the Volunteers. And the delivery. Fly ball into left center field. O'Maris over to the gap and grabs it on the run. And one down here in the bottom of the second inning.
Brings up the catcher, number 14,
Christian Tibor will hit. That West Region title, Tibor, 2 hits and a run batted in. Their 5, 6, and 7 batting orders had 7 of their 11 hits in that championship game last week in Mandan. Strike at 0-1. Tibor 0 for 3 against the Bismarck Reps. That was in game 2 last Friday. Tibor 1 hit. There's a base hit to left center here. So he has the first Dickinson hit this evening and a 1-out single. That'll bring up Kevin Olson.
Tibor singles. Brings up the left fielder, number 4, Kevin Olson.
Olson had 3 runs batted in the West Region Tournament, including 3 hits in the 6-5 win over the Bismarck Senators, and 11 hits, 10 singles off of 3 different Bismarck Senators pitchers in that final. So Swenson works out of the stretch for the first time, and they'll work on Tibor over at first, and will not use a courtesy runner for him. He'll run on his own at first base. Wilson digs in, set the delivery. Ball inside 1-0. In the 2019 state tournament, Kindred won that tournament and beat Dickinson, I want to say once. They might have beat him twice, if I remember correctly. That's right. I remember they beat him on Saturday because that got the Vikings to the finals against the Jets, so they had to beat twice and beat them twice. But they beat him earlier in the tournament. That's right. Back, that was at Dwyer Field in Bismarck in 2008. That's hard to believe. That's 4 years ago already. But that was a fun weekend. Now, 1-1. Makes you feel old, doesn't it, Michael Hall? Swing. Bouncing ball out to short. Flip to second to Glasso for 1. That is all they'll get as Wold's throw almost didn't get there in time, but they do get the lead base runner. Olson takes over at first. I think get the first one. And so far defensively, 6 errors, and they lost to Devil's Lake in the East Region Tournament, and then they played errorless baseball the final 2 games, and so far been flawless in the field early on. Jake Balliot, left-handed hitting center fielder, takes it low and in for ball 1. 0 for 4 in the West Region final last Saturday. And Balliot in the tournament did not have a hit, had a couple of runs scored and a run batted in the West Regional. Strike in it is 1-1. So out of the West you had Watford City was the 6th seed, but you had, I think, 1, 2, 3 otherwise. There's a strike. 1-2 the count. And you got the Senators, Caps, Volunteers, actually 1, 2, and 4, and then Watford City at 6. 1-2. He got him, strike 3 of the days. Jorgen Swenson has his second strikeout. No runs on a hit, and 1 left on. Swenson now at 25 pitches, 11 pitches in the second, and the Vikings have a 2-0 lead after 2 here from the State Class A Legion Baseball Tournament on the Proceed scoreboard. We'll be back in just a moment.
I think what makes Proceed win is we're different than the other companies in many ways with our programming, our simplicity, our non-corporate attitudes, and our personal relationship building.
What Proceed is, we bring back the old-fashioned seed buying experience. We're true seedsmen. We care about everything from the sale to the planting to following up afterwards. That's what we're all about, is just trying to bring that experience back to a personal level.
Need seed? Think Proceed. Proceed.net. Great seed at a reasonable price.
Boston Pizza harnessed Fanalytics to help optimize no-look dipping. Ooh! Making adjustments so you can stay focused on the game. The playoffs at Boston Pizza, powered by Fanalytics.
At Boston's, we make crowd pleasers. Like this.
Woo!
And these.
So good!
And definitely this.
I love you! Woo!
Stop by or book your catering order online and we'll make you a fan.
Top of the order for the Vikings here. With Chris, I'm Brad back here at Viking Varsity Diamonds. It is a 2-0 Kindred lead. Top of the order here, Mason Olmeris, Jack Wold, and Nick Thompson. As the Vikings trying to make it a sweep on day one for the East. Here in the state tournament, there's a line drive, base hit for Olmeris, first pitch swinging. Walked and scored in the first and waste no time to get on base here in the third. Leadoff man on, that'll bring up Jack Wold. Wold line to right. They put the runner in motion with Olmeris earlier and up 2-0. We'll see if they try to do so here. Danbaum in a couple of steps at third, throw to first, nearly thrown away, and Olmeris back. Look at the Dickinson outfield. Olson way off the line and left. Meantime, Balliot is shading Wold into left center field, and Luton is off the line and right. And there is adequate and kind of ample foul territory in both sides here in Kindred. Runner does not go. Strike one called. Easom at 31 pitches now as he works in the third. Really had a nice bounce back inning, 7 pitches to set down the Vikings in order. Bottom third of the order in the second. Set of the pitch. Runner goes, pitch is high, throw to second is there. The slide and safe is coming around the backside of the bag was Olmeris. Avoided the tag and, more importantly, able to stay on the bag. The slide of the backside as umpire Chris Larson signals him safe. And a stolen base. Throw was there, really a nice throw from Tibor. And again, he avoided the tag going around the back, kind of the backside of the bag. And was able to keep his hand on the bag, not overslide the second base bag. It's 1-1 to Wold, so how does this change things? Does it change things? As Josh Olmeris with the signs in the third base coaching box. Shortstop will keep an eye on Olmeris. Long look by Easom, and they'll bluff a pickoff throw. One pitch. A drive to left, hit well. Now back a couple of steps after charging in. It is hauled in by Olson in left. Jack Wold, 2 line drives and come up empty twice. That'll bring up Nick Thompson. Some of the outs against Easom have been solid contact. Doctor hit a line drive out. They've had 3 line drives hit fairly well, but for outs. Thompson flying to right in his first at bat. So Vikings trying to add on to the third. Out in front and dribbled foul wide of third. And the error in the third base coach and 1 strike. Wait till he gets to hear that when he watches back, and I know he will. 1 strike. I didn't say that. I'm not taking credit for that comment. And the delivery. Curve. Nice job. Trapped it at third. The throw on to first low and a good pick. Almaris will stay back at second base. Nice job by Danbaum to trap that ball at third. And Hughlin with a good pick on the back end of that. 2 away for Jack Packer. Well, has a nice drive, a low line drive, able to kind of smother that and get the out at first. And Almaris kind of got caught in no man's land. It's the old song, should I stay or should I go? And he elected to stay. Packer doubled Almaris into the first and has a chance to try and do so again with 2 down. Ground ball, another chance at third. Couple of hops fielded cleanly. Danbaum low throw and a nice pick by Hughlin again at first. So solid defense there by the Volunteers. So leadoff man gets to second and doesn't get any further. No runs and a hit, no errors. 1 stranded through 2.5. Viking varsity Diamonds and Kindred. State Class A Legion Baseball Tournament. It's 2-0 Vikings. We're back in a moment from Magnitude Sports.
There's never a bored moment at Touchmark.
Here, it's always something going on. If I want to do it, I do it. If I don't, I don't.
The whole community has so much going on, activities for each day basically, and everything's right there.
There's always enough to keep me busy.
We have stuff day to day, such as gardening club, but we also have our big signature events like our Touchmark Woodstock event. There's never really a time to be bored if you don't want to be.
Strike 1, Sam Luton, Cameron Wolf, and Easton Hughlin. It'll be 8-9-1 in the Volunteer batting order. Luton did not play in the West Region final and quickly down to the count here at 2 strikes. It's 2-0 Vikings. The bottom of inning number 3. Swenson back. Try to get him to chase. Good miss. And it's 1-2 the count. And a nice pace is Swenson. Fastball up and in, 2-2 the count. Volunteers winning their final 2 regular season games, beat Jamestown and Williston 14-4 and 13-10 respectively. They come in with a mark of 18-15 overall. Got him, swing and a miss. And a fastball and a strikeout. Third for Swenson. Strikeouts presented to you by Gordy's Travel Plaza off I-94, Castleton and Mapleton. Here's Cameron Wolf, the shortstop wears number 11. Boy, the improvements stopped a couple. It's usually a stop I make on the interstate. That the improvements that the Gundersons and the folks at Gordy's have done. It's a great stop. Strike and 0-1 to Cameron Wolf. Shortstop wears number 11. Swenson back and deals. Foul. That got a piece of Doctor and 2 strikes. I'd like to see here what his the ratio of first pitch strikes would be, because he's not fallen behind much, if at all. 0-2 the count, and home plate umpire Tom Perius will give Jeremiah Doctor a moment to make sure he's okay, and Paul Quislen will make sure Tom Perius has a couple of fresh baseballs. 32 pitches for Swenson, 23 strikes, so that's over 70% as far as strikes so far. That's getting it done. On the 0-2, good miss outside, 1-2 the count. 2 in the first for Kindred, 2 out hits, a double from Jack Packer. Glasso followed with a single, and that's held up to this point. High in the air to left center and hit well. Blasky back, still chasing, and he will not get it. It is up against the fence in left center field. And number 9 batter Wolf has a 1-out double. He hit it well, and that wind, that north wind out to left may have given that a push, but he hit that well. And Easton Hughlin will hit. So the first base runner now for the Volunteers into scoring position. We'll see if they can try and keep the line moving here. Here's a pitch. Strike, 0-1. Kind of what we saw in the West with 2 through 6, pretty tight in the standings. In fact, Volunteers won a 3-way tie for second. Similar to what we saw in the East, quite frankly. There's a strike, and it's 0-2. Kindred and Castleton were both 13-7. Vikings had the tiebreaker, head-to-head. They split, but Vikings had it on run differential. 2-strike pitch. Got him, swing and a miss. He didn't mess around. He went to the old number 1 and blew it past Hughlin for a strikeout. 4th for Swenson. And another Gordy's Travel Plaza strikeout. 2 down for Nick Sobolik. Struck out in his first plate appearance. But you look out of the East, you had top 2 seeds making, actually the top 3 with Kindred, although they had their ticket punched, and then West Fargo Vets were 5, who had to get past the post-400 Astros, who were the 8th seed and were oh so close to getting here as well. There's a strike, and had you not had the Vikings as the host team in, it might have been the Astros. But I'm sure they're kind of kicking themselves. They had a 5-run lead in that game, and the Vets just came back a couple of different times to win that in extras. 2-strike pitch. Downstairs 1-2 the count. It just shows you, Josh Olmeris made that point. Class A, at least, I'm sure it is in the West, but seeing into the East, parity. You just don't know from night to night. The state tournament should be no different. 1-2, a drive to right. Xander Rath, a good break on that ball. Waits and has it. And that'll end the inning. 1-out double from Wolf, no damage done. Volunteers leave their second runner on. No runs a hit, no errors. 1 stranded through 3. It's 2-0 in favor of the post-117 Vikings from the state tournament here in Kindred. We're back with more on Magnitude Sports in a moment. Here you see the totals after 3 in a 2-0 Kindred lead. 50-50 drawing 250. Somebody walked away with. Well, we know who's buying the hot dogs and burgers tomorrow, that's for sure. $250 of serious quick bucks. 5, 6, and 7 on the batting order, and after this half inning, we're going to have a presentation. There'll be American flag, giant flag on loan from the folks at Fargo Post 400. We'll be showing that off. We'll be having that ceremony, and God Bless America will be sung. Glasso roller to third. Another chance here for Danbaum. He's been busy. Low throw, and Hughlin bailed him out with a nice pick. Danbaum's been really good at third, and Huglin's been just as good, if not better. Has picked a few over at first. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 4th, but God Bless America will be sung by Commander Scott Bartram, retired from the U.S. Navy, retired naval aviator, former commanding officer. Will sing God Bless America after this half inning. Off-speed delivery Easom changing speeds and doing it well. Strike one to Doctor. Line to center in his first at bat. Vikings 2 in the first, and it's held up. 1-1 the count. 4 games tomorrow will start at 11 a.m. 3 games starting at noon. But the winner's bracket game will be at 5. Little dribbler up the first base line. It is a foul ball. That's the home plate umpire's call until it gets to the bag. 1-2 now to Jeremiah Doctor. Doctor, 1 hit. A 10-7 win. The Vikings had 10 hits altogether. He had 2 hits, did Jeremiah, in the region tournament. Also 1 for 3 against Devil's Lake in the opening round. 1-2. That one skips away, and that'll level it now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Back tomorrow here on Magnitude Sports. 2-2 pitch. Hit off the pitcher. It will carry him out to first, and he'll step on the bag for the out. Off of Easom, deflecting to Hughlin for the out. They get the out, and his teammates quickly coming to Easom saying, hey, you okay? And head coach Carson Backer going to come out there as well to be scored as a 1-3 scoring play for the out. And I think it hit him, I don't know if it hit him in the knee or just below the knee.
Give these boys a hand, ladies and gentlemen. This is
And they're going to give him a moment or two to make sure he's okay. See Easom trying to walk things off on a line drive there, and yeah, it looks like he must have got him kind of in the calf, I think. So kind of the shin or the calf, and I think they're going to give him 2-3 warm-up pitches to make sure he is okay. 42 pitches, so more than a economical number through 3 2/3, but he needed 1 pitch and said, gave him the thumbs up, I'm good to go. He has set down 5 in a row, and 9 of the last 10. Almaris has singled to lead off the third, the only blemish in that sequence, and that'll bring up Bryce Whipple. Again, a nice hand for Easom as he quickly comes back, and ball 1 here to Whipple. That's probably one of those injuries. He's probably, again, he's cooking on some adrenaline too. That's a leg injury. You want to, how does he going to feel tomorrow? He might be okay right now, but hope that thing doesn't bruise or swell or anything like that for tomorrow and going forward. 2-0 now to Whipple. Right now isn't showing a lot of ill effects. Getting hit from that line drive. Changing speeds, that's pulled to left and a fair ball. That'll go to the corner and could be extra bases. Whipple will make the turn. He wants 2, and he will have himself a 2-out double. Looked like an off-speed delivery he was able to get around on and pulled it to left. 4th hit for the Vikings. It is their 2nd double. So Jorgen Swenson flied to center in his first at bat. Both Kindred runs came on a result of 2-out hits. Trying to do it one more time here in the 4th. Roll for a ball, and it's 1-0. Easom has not struck out a batter, but his distribution of outs early on, Vikings made some solid contact that turned into outs. Popped up here, he changed speeds well. Might be room, and the ball's going to drop in foul territory. Not sure if Tibor saw it. He kind of drifted towards the first base side, kind of towards the on-deck circle. Easom was trying to kind of direct him and play traffic cop, and the ball dropped in foul territory. So an out that could have been recorded isn't, and we'll see if that can be a factor here. So gives Swenson a second chance. And the delivery is high. It is 2-1. Stan Belaski is on deck, but 2 down here in the inning. Eason checks. Whipple at second. Line drive and caught at second for the out. Diving grab. Soblik takes a base hit away and may have taken a run away from the Vikings in the process. A scorcher snagged for the third out. And the Vikings are turned away here in the fourth. A 2-out double from Whipple. Stranded at second. No runs a hit. No errors and 1 left on. As we're going to have a special tribute here right now as the Kindred Babe Ruth team is headed to the field right now. And let's go to the PA here and Mike Bernier.
Share and display this flag with everybody.
There you see the.
In addition, ladies and gentlemen,
There you see the Kindred Babe Ruth with the flag. It's going to be presented. The flag is on loan from Fargo Post 400.
Naval Aviator and former commanding officer of the Fargo Navy Reserve. 28 years of service. We'll sing us God Bless
So
America.
Scott Bartram, retired naval aviator, former commanding officer of the Fargo Navy Reserve. 28 years of service, will sing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, our home, sweet home.
Thank you very much, Commander.
So there you go, our presentation of the flag. And God Bless America. Kindred Youth Baseball has been practicing at walking the flag, displaying it, and getting it back off so they know that they are doing their best. Very honored to display the stars and stripes, the red, white, and blue, and I want to take a moment to thank our veterans, active military, and all first responders. So a nice moment here during this game tonight. You see the young men taking care of the flag, doing it the right way, with proper respect. And now we'll be leaving the field of play here momentarily. Good to see this. This is one of those lessons that good to teach the young men at this age. So They understand what it's all about, and they can pass it on to their kids perhaps someday. 2-0 as we head to the last of the fourth inning. Nice ceremony. We'll come back with more baseball in just a moment from Magnitude Sports.
Touch Chiropractic.
Big thanks to our sponsors, West Fargo Baseball, Touchmark, Red Baron and Castleton, Mitzel Magic Services, Bar 9, and Nipstead Farms, among others. Will Easom to lead things off as Jorgen Swenson, pitch number 42 right now, and ball one. Easom, Dan Baum, and Tibor in a 2-0 game. Here's the delivery. There's a strike. 1-1 the count. Coverage by the Red Baron and Castleton. You want some delicious pizza, that is a great place to stop. Old school atmosphere at the Baron. Here's a swing and a fly ball into center field. As Almaris in a few steps. And a two-handed grab to retire Easom, who's down for the first out here in the fourth inning. That'll bring up Tyler Danbaum. Danbaum fly to center in his first at-bats. Jorgen Swenson has allowed 2 hits, 4 strikeouts through 3 1/3 innings. Swenson rocks and fires. It is a ball, 1-0. Dickinson has not had more than 1 runner on at any point so far in this game. Time called and granted by Tom Perius. And the delivery. Missed away, and it is 2-0. And that ball to strike ratio has been very good, and he's really not been out of rhythm much. Popped up. Doctor trying to find it. Now Swenson, a good break, and he reaches back and makes the catch in foul ground. Jorgen Swenson took charge because Doctor couldn't find it right away. Swenson did, and he just took off. He kind of had sprinter speed there. He showed off. Kind of showed off his track ability there. There's a lot of these guys, multi-sport athletes, even in the spring. That boys track team had won the state high school championship. Strike and 0-1 to Christian Tibor. Well, that was a great play by Swenson to take charge, find it, and haul it in. 2 down. Changing speeds. Speed, and the off-speed delivery misses low, 1-1. Swenson, 49 pitches, 34 strikes. Over a 2-to-1 ratio. Ooh, got him right in the back. Ouch. That sounded like it hurt from up here, so Tibor on for the second time. I don't know if he's feeling it right now, but he might feel it in the morning. Ooh, that just sounded harsh. 2-out base runner now for the Volunteers as that ends a stretch of 4 straight base runners retired, as well as a pinch runner here, a courtesy runner for Dickinson. 15, Logan Gross. Gross to run for Tibor. Courtesy runner with 2 out. Olson hit into a fielder's choice at his first at bat. Throw to first, and I'll work on the new guy over at first base. Wind has maybe settled down a little, but that flag still pointing straight out, north wind into left center, and he is hit. Is Olsen by the first delivery from Swenson. So back-to-back hit batters.
Brings up the center fielder, number 1.
That's maybe the first sign of really any kind of uneasiness for Swenson of the Vikings. Jake Balliot will try and make it hurt here with 2 out. Swenson sets and deals. There's a strike, nothing in 1. And ideally, if you could just get through and just have to use one guy on the mound tonight, that sets up well for the Vikings going forward. In the dirt. Good pick by Doctor. 1-1 the count. Airless baseball on both sides so far. With post 117 on their home field, a 2-0 advantage. 1-1. High and away, 2-1 the count. Sam Luton on deck, 2 down to the inning. Two 2-1, swing and a miss. 2-2, but you go back to that Babe Ruth tournament in 20, which was Class B. Lemoore won it that year, but a lot of these guys played in that tournament. And got Lemoore and Langdon in the Class B state tournament. Castleton was there that year. And the delivery. There's strike 3, got him looking. Changing speeds and got Balliot window shopping for the second time. Fifth strikeout for Jorgen Swenson, and they strand 2 on in the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, 2 stranded. Swenson at 56 pitches through 4. The Vikings hold a 2-0 lead after 4. We're back with more on Magnitude Sports in just a moment.
There's no question that yield is at the core of everything we do at Stein. It's why we are here today, and it's what will continue to propel us and our growers into the future of agriculture. Stein Enlist E3 soybeans provide a significant dollar per acre yield benefit, plus access to the best weed control in the industry. That is yield plus results. Yield expected, yield delivered. Stein Enlist E3 soybeans have yield.
Answer. That winner will receive a free personal pizza over at Kindred. Thanks for playing on trivia.
About ready to hit the 1 hour mark of this game as we move along to the top of the 5th. 9-1-2 in the Vikings batting order. Stan Belaski to lead things off against Esom. Off-speed delivery, popped foul, and into foul ground and 1 strike. You look over and grandstand, excellent crowd. That's just kind of what we can see, and I'm sure you look down, there's a few down the baselines as well. There's a lot of great vantage points to watch here at this ballpark. So we're going to pop up here. Middle of the infield, the call by Sobolik, and he will squeeze it. 2-handed grab for first out here in the 5th inning. Belaski now 0 for 2. Back to the top of the order in Mason Almaris. Mason has walked, stole the base and scored. That was in the 1st. Singled, stole 2nd, and was stranded at 2nd. Esom rocks and fires. Strike, and he has changed speeds well, kind of pitching kind of backwards a little bit. That didn't go with the fastball to get ahead. Off-speed delivery for strike 1. And strike 2 at the knees in 0-2. And again, we're looking for a run for the West. As a drought. So far, the 4 teams from the West, the well has been dry. Roller out to second. Sobolik another chance. Scoops, fields, throw, and save.
He scored an infield single.
An infield hit for Mason Almaris. He scrambled down that line like his life depended upon it. He throw to first, and Almaris able to just beat the throw. It's Carson Backer, the head coach, going out to just kind of ask Kelly McNary what that call was, and now he'll come and visit with his team. So it's an infield hit. Almaris on for the third time, and that was just pure hustle on that one, because just a roller out to second, and you want to call it routine, but I'm sure Soblik thinking, I got time to throw him out. And the tie goes to the base runner there. So Almaris on for the third time. Jack Wold to hit. Hit 2 balls well. Line drive to right and lined out to left in the third. So 2 well-struck balls and nothing to show for it. Throw to first, and Almaris is back. Hit number 5 for the Vikings. Just 1-1-2-3 inning for Easom so far. Throw to first, and diving back Almaris once more. Long look in, Wold. Bit of an open stance, and Easom steps off, forcing the runner back. Up 2-0. Excellent base runner at first. They put the wheels in motion in the dirt. Good pitch to run on. Stolen base is the pitch in the dirt. Tibor able to knock it down and throw it down almost in one motion, but Almaris, a good jump and a good pitch to run on. Stolen base, his third of the night, and a 1-ball count. Kind of getting to the point now where it is getting late. And the way that Swenson's going, you hope that 2's enough. But boy, you wouldn't like to run that risk. Kind of very similar to what we saw in the previous game with Castleton to the Bismarck Capitals, where the way Brendan Maggio was going, we're pretty confident that 2 or eventually 3 was going to be enough. Pitch is high. Kind of a wheel play there by the defense. Danbaum coming in at third, Hughlin coming in for first, and Casey bunt was on, and shortstop Wolf took off to cover third. Well, there was no inkling and no indication of a bunt from Wold, and 2-0 the count now with a base open and 1 away here in the top of inning number 5. It's 3-0. Nick Thompson on deck. They throw all the way through, and Soblik cutting it off a few feet in front of the second base bag. Now 3-0. Time called. They're just going to put him on. So at 3-0, they'll just elect to intentionally walk him. Fill first. Now take their chances. But the big boppers of the Viking order. First up is Nick Thompson. You can tell that Viking dugout knowing this is our chance to add on here. Pitch to Thompson. Strike and 0-1. I don't think he's gotten a first pitch fastball in any of his 3 plate appearances so far. He didn't there. Changing speeds well as Easom. And ahead at 1 strike. Check of the runner at second. Second glance to the plate. Low. They'll throw behind the runner at first. And diving back is Wold. 1-1 the count. Winner will face defending champion Castleton tomorrow night at 6:30. Loser will face the Bismarck Capitals in a win or go home game at 1:30 tomorrow here at Magnitude Sports. Hard hit ball out to short. They may have a chance. No, the ball is dropped. They try to roll it to second. Not in time. Throw back to third is late. Wolf is charged with an error. And a chance for 1, maybe 2, and they get neither. First error against either side tonight. Error charge to Wolf, and they're loaded with one down for Jack Packer. He got it cleanly, and then on the exchange lost it, and he kind of tried to roll it to second base. And late, ball one to Packer. Doubled in a run in the first, and a double into the left center field gap, and then grounded to third. Correction in the third inning. Here's the 1-0. Low ball two, throw back to third, and they got him at third. Tibor threw behind the runner. Danbaum sneaking behind Almaris, and they picked him off. A massive out there, 2-5 on the pickoff. The lead base runner vanishes, and there's two down. So 2-0 to Packer. Wow. Well, Tibor has not been shy of throwing it to any base. And they were able to get him. 2-0 in the delivery. Strike to Packer and 2-1. I feel like some of the air has been let out of the balloon, but it's not over yet. You still have two runners on, and a good stick up there in Jack Packer. Easom trying to get out of trouble in the fifth. In his hands, and Packer able to fight it off. And now a 2-ball, 2-strike count. So an infield hit, a walk, and an error filled the bases. And the 2-2. In the dirt, that one hops away. Catcher trying to find it. Now Tibor locates it. Wild pitch will move the runners up an additional 90 feet. So two in scoring position now and a full count. Check that, Easom, 65 pitches through 4 2/3, and now a base hit could double the lead for the Vikings, perhaps. Ball 4, and that'll reload the bags with 2 out. And it's up to Graham Glasso.
Packer draws a walk and loads the bases. Brings up the second baseman, number 7, Graham Glasso.
Graham Glasso singled in a run of the first. Grounded to third in the 4th inning. Bases clogged with 2 out. And ball 1 to Glasso. So I don't know if Graham's in a position here with Easom struggling with command a little bit. If he's taken till he gets a strike. No, he's not. A line drive to left hit well, but in his tracks, Olsen to make the catch. Hit well, but a line drive out. The Vikings, 4 base runners in the inning, but do not score. No runs on a hit, 1 error, and they leave them loaded through 4 1/2. It remains Kindred 2, the Dickinson Volunteers nothing. State Class A Legion Baseball Tournament continues after this on Magnitude Sports.
Mitso Magic Services is locally owned and operated out of Bismarck, North Dakota. They provide the services you need to keep your home looking great. Whether it's lawn mowing or snow removal, get the job done for a reasonable and affordable rate with Mitso Magic Services. Mitso Magic Services also offers weed control, landscaping, tree trimming, and yard cleanup services and more. Want some magic done to your yard? You know who to call. Mitso Magic Services. Contact Jaden today at 701-333-9791 or visit them on Facebook by searching Mitso Magic Services.
Gordy's Travel Plaza continues to improve products and services. Now open is the Beer Cave with wines and spirits. Pick up a fresh-made Sandy's donut along with a fresh bean-to-cup coffee or espresso. How about our tasty popcorn with warm butter on top, or cool down with the all-new Fresh Blend shakes, smoothies, frappes, frazzles, and more. Now open is Champ's Chicken, Hangar 54 Pizza, and Hot Mex Express. We are excited for you to try out the all-new items at Gordy's Travel Plaza in Castleton, serving Castleton and the surrounding communities for over 55 years.
First pitch fouled away by Sam Luton. Luton, Wolf, and Hughlin. 8, 9, and 1 of the Volunteers batting order. Bottom of the 5th. Getting late, 2-0. Vikings with the lead of the delivery. There's a strike, 0 in 2. 58 pitches for Jorgen Swenson. 5 strikeouts, has hit 2. And there's strikeout number 6. 3 pitches, and Luton is down for the first out. Strikeout presented by Gordy's Travel Plaza, Castleton and Mapleton. 2-0 Vikings on the Proceed scoreboard. Need seed? Think Proceed. Proceed.net as Cameron Wolf doubled over Belaski's head off the base of the left center field wall at his first at bat. Fastball in the dirt, 1-0. Swenson had a 1-2-3 first inning. He's worked around a smattering of base runners since, striking 1-1. But again, his command when he's on is so good. And it's just not just his fastball. Here's a fly ball to right center field. Rath and Almaris over. This is Xander Rath's ball, and he puts it away for the second out.
Xander Rath makes a catch out in right field. 2 away.
6 pitches, 2 outs here in the last of the 5th for Easton Hughlin. Well, there's just something about a well-played game where your pitcher's throwing strikes, and that just leads to probably a defense that's kind of on their toes instead of their heels, and you just hope there's enough offense in there to make it complete the game. Strike and 0-1 to Hughlin. Back to the top of the order for Dickinson. He's flying to left and struck out. Swing and a miss. Bottom dropped out of that one in 2 strikes. And again, getting ahead. Boy, strike 1, strike 2. Makes life easier on the hill. Missed low and away, 1-2. 65 pitches for Swenson. Both pitchers in good spot there. Strike 3 and a pair of Ks in the inning is Hughlin. Frozen for strike 3. 7 now for Jorgen Swenson. And a 1-2-3 fifth. Nothing across. Moving along through 5. Vikings holding on to a 2-0 lead here at Viking Varsity Diamond. State Class A Legion Baseball Tournament continues in just a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen,
With Chris Hupton, I'm Brad Anderson, top of the 6th. Mike Bernier is on the public address here for this one. Mike did a nice job of those first 3 games as Jeremiah Doctor waits on an off-speed delivery, and a shot off the glove of the shortstop to second, throw on to first, not in time. Doctor will reach. Looked like it was on its way to center field. Shortstop Wolf got a piece of it. It careened over to Soblik. And the throw on to first, not in time. I think we'll see how they score that. I think that's a hit. I think it's a base hit for Doctor. That's kind of an. You think so? We'll see how they score that. I'm going with base hit, but I think that's kind of a play that it's not a routine play. And the delivery. Low ball 1 to Whipple. Throw back to first as a runner in for the Vikings. Courtesy runner in for Doctor. Jack McDonald is at first. 1-0 to Whipple. It was grounded to third and double. They're going to score that as an error. Error on the throw. Error charged to the second baseman, Sobolik. Ground ball, backhanded it short to Sobolik. They do get the lead runner. Throw to first, wide and not in time. Nice play. Wolf at short in the hole to the backhand. And on to second for the out. So they take care of the lead runner, McDonald. And Whipple to take over at first. And looks like a pinch hitter coming as Josh Almaris bringing the lineup card over to Tom Perius, and we'll have a pinch hitter coming here for the Vikings. It's a nice play there in the hole by the shortstop Wolf, and a runner as well. So got a couple of substitutions, or actually it's a runner at first. So it's not a pinch hitter. Okay. This will be Xander Rath. Whipple is DHing for Rath, so they'll bring some speed in there. So just the runner at first. Swenson will hit. As Jorgen 0 for 2 was robbed of a hit, and a nice grab, diving grab by Sobolik in his last at bat. So Rath, good speed at first. And the pitch. He's running on the first pitch. Off-speed deliveries a ball. Throw to second. And he is in. Stolen base. Head first dive, and Rath. Good pitch to run on. Was an off-speed pitch, but Tibor, who was picked off one runner, that was a big pick off of Almaris last inning, and he's not afraid to fire it around through any bag. So ball one here, and now with the runner at second, you wonder if Tibor out there to talk with Eason, maybe changing up the signs a little bit with the runner now at second base, perhaps. So Swenson an RBI chance with one out as the Vikings trying to add on to a 2-0 advantage. Eason's pitch got him to move his feet. Dances out of the way of that one. It is inside, and 2-0 to Jorgen Swenson. Stan Belaski is on deck. 2 in the first for the Vikings. Has held up. 3-0. That blocked well by Tibor. So 3-0. Well, the East is dominated with the state champions in recent memory. Castleton last year. Wapaton in 21. Kindred in 19. It's a 4-pitch walk here to Swenson. So that fills first. That'll bring up Stan Belaski.
Brings up the left fielder, number 0, Stanley Belaski.
So now another conference at the mound with Dan Baum. Shortstop Wolf comes in. Catcher Tibor. Belaski 0 for 2. Fly to right in the second. Popped to second in the fifth. So the Vikings have left 6 on through 5 innings of batting, including leaving them loaded in the fifth. 2 on, 1 out here as Belaski digs in. Cued foul for strike 1. Vikings who got beat in the opening round last year by Watford City. We're going to see some activity down now in the Volunteers bullpen down the left field line. Belaski pulls it to left and a fair ball. Into the corner, it'll score a run. Fired back in towards third. Swenson to third. Belaski has himself an RBI double in the bottom of the order. Comes up big for the Vikings. It's 3-0 Kindred. Timed that off-speed delivery and able to get out in front and pull it to the left field corner. Scoring Rath. Swenson to third, so now a 3-0 lead, and it's like it's Trenton Anderson that is getting loose. It's either he or Logan Gross. I believe it's Anderson getting loose in the Dickinson bullpen. Almaris the batter. The Volunteers will bring the infield in, probably out of necessity. Ball 1 to Mason Almaris. has walked and scored, singled, legged out an infield hit. He has stole 3 bases. He has scored a run. Now he'd like to add at least 1 RBI to his line today. And he may. A drive into right center field, into the alley, over, and a reaching up and catching it. Luton, both runners to tag, and will score. Swenson in, Belaski to third. Almaris with a run batted in. And the Viking lead is 4-0. There's a young man there that he knew the situation. You don't necessarily have to pull a ball or get over anxious. Just that, putting it in play and a fly ball to the outfield that Luton almost misjudged. He had to reach up and catch it over his gray and black cap for the out. So 2 here in the 6th. Jack Wold with a chance with 2 out and ball 1. 2 would be nice. A third would be just dandy here for Kindred. The way Swenson's going, 4 might seem like a lot more than that. Striking 1-1 to Wold. 0 for 2 was intentionally walked back in the 5th. Easom now 81 pitches as he works here in the 6th. Inside off the mid of Tibor, but not far enough for an advance. Some clouds, we have a little bit of sun, but not really much for shadows. As you can see, the home plate area still in what is left of the evening sun. Fouled away by Wold, and count now even at 2 apiece. It's been the case. Olsen playing into left center. He's well off the line and left. Balliet into left center, and a ball just misses. Now 3-2 to Wold. They have played off the line to the corner outfielders and played Balliet deep. And maybe a few steps into left center. Payoff pitch and a walk. Second walk of the inning. That fills first. Runners on the corners, 2 away, and it'll give Nick Thompson a chance. Vikings with a 4-run lead, and Thompson 0 for 3, reached in an error in his last at-bat. Easom has walked 2 in the inning, and now 5, the total through 5 2/3. 85 pitches, 47 strikes. Activity done for now in the Dickinson bullpen. Ball 1. Thompson, I believe 4 home runs on the year. He does have some power. 325 down the left field line. 348 to center. 302 to the right field foul pole here at Viking Varsity Diamond. Strike at the knees is Tom Perius, and it's 1-1. So we'll see if this is it for Easom. And the pitch. Just low. Tried to get that low strike, that knee-high strike. And missed low and maybe just away. 2-1 to Thompson. Belaski at third, Wold at first. With 2 men down. Popped up. Straight up the chute. Who would like it? Sobolek, the second baseman, drifting out, and he will be called off. Gives way to Balliet in center. And he'll make the catch to retire Thompson. And Kindred down here in the 6th, but they get a pair of runs. 2 runs on a hit, 1 error, and a pair of runners left on. New score after 5.5. Kindred has doubled the lead. 4-0 Vikings. We're back with more from the State Class A Legion Baseball Tournament in just a moment. Jorgen Swenson working on a two-hitter right now. 66 pitches, 45 strikes, the unofficial number. Eastham at 89, so we'll see if he does come back out for the 7th. There was activity for the Volunteers in the bullpen. Bunt attempt foul by Soblik, and strike one.
Now batting for
He's 0 for 2.
the second baseman, number 7, Nick Sobel.
Maybe his strongest inning might have been last inning. A couple of strikeouts and a lazy fly ball out to right. Last of the 6 now. A couple of potential insurance runs, a 4-0 lead, and it is low. 1-1 to Soblik. Eastham and Tyler Danbaum to follow. And the delivery. Foul. I got him in the box. Yeah, they will signal foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's a 2-1-2-3 innings. Gave up a 1-out single to Tibor in the second. A 1-out double to Wolf in the third. Then hit consecutive batters with 2 out. Hit Tibor and Kevin Olson on consecutive pitches, but no damage done in the 4th. Backed him off. 2-2 the count. And again, the West teams not only have not won a game, they have not had a run cross home plate the entire day. Pop foul and out of play. Watford City, the Bismarck Senators, and the Bismarck Capitals all shut out. 17-0 Wahpeton won game 1, then a pair of 3-0 victories, one by the West Fargo Vets over the Senators. Low, full count. And then Castleton, a 3-0 win over the Bismarck Capitals on a shutout from Brendan Maggio. Payout pitch, fouled away. Soblik, a nice job to stay alive, and pitch number 7 of the at-bat coming as the count rides along full, 3-2. 3-2, hit hard and into right for a base hit. He will try to throw to first, but not in time. That one just out of the reach of Glasso. And the leadoff man reaches for the first time this evening for the Volunteers. Good plate appearance there for Soblik. Able to foul the ball off on 3-2 and base hit to right. Batter is Eastham. Soblik already into that primary lead off of first. Called strike, 0-1 to Eastham. It was pop to the pitcher and fly to center. 7 strikeouts. He's now walked a batter, 2-hit batsman, and throw to first and the runner back. Kelly McNary, the umpire, over at first. Keeping a watchful eye on that base runner. And the pitch. There's a strike. And Eastham quickly in the hole at 0-2. Going to see as we get a little more sunshine, a few of those shadows creeping in on some parts of the diamond. In the dirt, trying to knock it down. It does scoot away from Wild pitch will get Soblik to second. And that's now 1-2.
Soblik moves up to second on the wild pitch.
One thing the Volunteers did not really have to do a whole lot in the region tournament was play from behind. Just missed outside. 2-2. Viking dugout wanted that call and didn't get it. Set by Swenson, 2-2 pitch. Line drive at a fastball. That is into right center field and in for a base hit. Almaris cuts it off and they'll keep Soblik at third base. So Eastham with a base hit into right center, and the Volunteers, most serious threat of the game, runners on the corners with nobody out, and Josh Almaris will come out for a visit. That'll bring up Tyler Denbaum. But you go back in the region tournament, led the entire way against Beulah in their opening game. Beulah did come back late. Dickinson had a 9-2 lead after 4, hung on for a 12-9 win. Never trailed against the Bismarck Reps. Were were tied after 3.5 and then scored 3 in the fourth for a 5-2 win. Did trail early on to the Bismarck Senators in the West Region final last Saturday, 2-0 after 1. Took the lead for good with 4 in the third inning and the 6-5 win. But they've chased the score from the get-go tonight as Josh Olmeris, I think it's a word for Swenson, but I think it's kind of a message for everybody. And say, all right, guys, nothing to get too concerned about here. 2 on, nobody out. But Denbaum, the batter, probably need another base runner or 2 to get real nervous if you're a Viking fan. And the Volunteers just been trying to get a rally started. Fastball, and Denbaum fouled it away. Class AA tournament going on out in Dickinson. Time called and granted. Williston and the West Fargo Patriots, the winner will face Post 2 in the championship tomorrow, and Williston Keybirds leading West Fargo 3-1. Safety squeeze is on. They'll throw all the way through. A run is in. The runner from third comes in to score, and safe at second is Easom. And the Volunteers swipe a run and get on the board at 4-1. So the scoring drought for the West went almost 25 innings. But there they get on the board. Safety squeeze was on. The runner at third hadn't come all the way through. And they did throw all the way through, allowing that runner from third to come in untouched. Swing and a miss and a strikeout here as Denbaum gone on 3 pitches. Strikeout number 8 for Swenson, 1 away for Christian Tibor. So mistake there in the field. Somebody's got to try and cut that ball off, and they didn't. But they get it out. Christian Tibor has reached base twice at a single and a hit batsman. RBI chance here, popped up. Down the right field line, Packer chasing. Rath will call him off and make the catch, just crossing into foul territory for out number 2. That was well done there by the Vikings defensively. Rath took charge, made the catch. The throw came back in, and everybody was where they needed to be. 2 down for Kevin Olson. So after a little hiccup on the field, they have recovered nicely. 2 down for Kevin Olson. Olson is hit into a fielder's choice. Got plunked in the back on the first pitch he saw or felt from Swenson back of the 4th. Fastball, strike 1. 2 singles. Stolen bases led to a run. 4-1 Vikings here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pitch is high. It's 1-1. Winner will play in the late game tomorrow around 6:30 here in Kindred versus the winner. Well, Castleton awaiting the winner of this one. Haymakers won 3-0. Swing and a miss. Changing speeds, and the bottom dropped out of that one. 1-2 to Olson. Winner so far today, Wahpeton, the West Fargo Vets, and the defending champion Haymakers and the host Vikings trying to make it a clean sweep for the East in day number 1. Time called and granted. Boy, Williston in the AA tournament, the number 9 seed. Wouldn't that be something if they could win and get into the championship game and get a tournament berth to the regional in Rapid City. Popped up and a couple of steps, and the catch made it short by Jack Wold to retire Kevin Olson. And that'll do it here for Dickinson in the 6th. They get a run on 2 hits. No errors, and 1 stranded. 4-1 Kindred with the lead as we head to the 7th. State Class A Legion baseball tournament continues in just a moment from Magnitude Sports. New pitchers on for the Volunteers. Trenton Anderson is on to pitch. He was warming up last inning, and he is on here for the Volunteers. 6 innings for Esom, 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned, 5 walks. No strikeouts, 89 pitches. It's the official number, 49 strikes as pitcher goes to left. So Esom is in left field.
Defensive changes for the Dickinson Volunteers. New pitcher on the mound, number 16, Trenton
I
Anderson.
think everybody else, I think the other defensive changes, I think, are still there. Luton's still in right. Balliot is in center. So I believe it's Olson that's out of the game. As Esom is now in left field, so that would put Olson out of the game. Strike one to Jack Packer. And the 0-1 in the dirt, 1-1 the count. Packer doubled in a run of the first. Later scored, grounded to third in the third, walked in the fifth. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Errorless baseball for post 117. Dickinson post 3. A run, 4 hits, and 2 errors. Packer pops one up here, might be playable. Foul ground, room near the coach's box, and caught by Huglin for out number 1. So 1 away in the 7th for Graham Glazzo.
First out of the inning, that'll bring up the second baseman, number 7, Graham Glasso.
Glasso 1 for 3, RBI single in the first, line to left in his last at bat. Came up with the bases full and 2 out and hit one well, but right at the then left fielder Olson. Strike 1 and 0-1. Coverage beginning tomorrow, a little before 11 a.m. here in Magnitude Sports. And the pitch missed away, 1-1. The AA tournament will finish out in Dickinson tomorrow. Post 2, Charlie Kalbrenner, 2 homers, come from behind, 6-4 win over West Fargo. And then Williston eliminating the Bismarck Governors and right now leading West Fargo at last look. So either the Patriots or the Keybirds will face post 2 tomorrow in the championship game out west. Ground ball, couple of hops to third. Room service hop for Dan Bob. And on to first for the second out. Well, there are really a couple of hiccups in the field.
Brings us to the catcher, number 3, Jeremiah Doctor.
It was an error that could have proved costly in the 5th and didn't. And the error, Doctor hit a shot that went off the shortstop's glove to second. Error was charged on the throw. Doctor at the plate takes ball 1. We get to the last of the 7th. It'll be the bottom third of the order for the Volunteers. Really overall been for the most part, well-played game. Fastball downstairs, 2-0. Whipple on deck, but 2 down here in the 7th. Vikings, a couple of runs early to grab the lead and a couple late for potential insurance. Now 3 balls, no strikes. 10 pitches so far here for Anderson in relief. 10 pitches, just 3 strikes. There's strike number 4, taking all the way as Doctor, and it is now 3-1. There's a 2-out walk. So 2-out base runner as Doctor will be lifted. Courtesy runner on for Kindred. Jack McDonald to run at first.
Number 1, Jack McDonald.
It's usually a given with 2 out. You got the catcher or pitcher. It will get lifted for that courtesy runner more often than not. Xander Rath now, as he was lifted, Whipple was for pinch runner. So Xander Rath will hit for the first time. He was being DH for, so Whipple leaving the game 1 for 3. So Xander Rath at the plate with 2 men down and a runner at first. Outside, ball one.
On the mound. Warning.
Sunday schedule will be 2 teams eliminated tomorrow. Losers of those first 2 games will be the first to be sent home. In the dirt, breaking for second, McDonald, he'll reach. Head first dive. McDonald with a good break and read there gets him to second. And on Sunday, elimination game at noon, one more at 2:30, and then you'll have the winner's bracket game at 5. So you could have a situation where it might be 3 left, might be 4 left, and how the rest of the schedule goes for Monday and potentially and more so Tuesday at that championship, because there's scenarios where if you have 2 teams left or if you have 3 teams remaining, you may have, for an example, 2 teams that have 1 loss and maybe 1 that's unbeaten. Or you might just have 2 standing. Kind of all depends. You know, the championship noon for certain on Tuesday, and then if a second title game is needed, that would follow around 2:30 to 3 o'clock. 2-0 the pitch. Here's a bunt by Rath down the third base line, and no play. Throw to first. Not in time, and it's a bunt single for Xander Rath. Danbaugh might have been better for just keeping that one in his pocket. He wasn't going to have a chance to get him. Bunt single for Rath. McDonald's at third. And Jorgen Swenson will try and help his own cause here. So Swenson walked and scored in his last plate appearance, 0 for 2 in the game. Robbed of a hit, diving catch by Soblik behind second in the 4th inning. Anderson deals, runner from first goes. No throw, and Rath gets to second. Either a stolen base or a defensive indifference, depending on how you want to score that. 1-0 to Swenson. 2 in scoring position, and boy, a hit here could be potentially a dagger. Anderson trying to get out of trouble here in the 7th. Ball 2. So 2-0 the count. Anderson has labored a bit here in relief of starter Easom. Two-0. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike. Vikings with 7 hits off Volunteers pitching. Almaris has 2. 6 different players with at least 1 base hit. Chopper out to short. Played by Wolf on to first in time. And the Vikings are turned away here in the 7th. Bunt single and a walk, but 2 stranded. No runs on 1 hit. No errors. 2 stranded. Last chance here for the Volunteers. Bottom third of the order coming up as they trail 4-1 here on Magnitude Sports.
There's no question that yield is at the core of everything we do at Stein. It's why we are here today, and it's what will continue to propel us and our growers into the future of agriculture. Stein Enlist E3 soybeans provide a significant dollar per acre yield benefit, plus access to the best weed control in the industry. That is yield plus results. Yield expected, yield delivered. Stein Enlist E3 soybeans have yield.
Pinch hitter coming here for Dickinson to lead things off in the bottom of the 7th. Logan Gross hitting in the spot occupied by Balliot, who was 0 for 2 while he was in there. Jorgen Swenson tried to put the wraps on this one, and strike one. Luton and Wolf scheduled hitters to follow. 4 hits scattered here by Swenson. Off-speed delivery over for a strike. Changing speeds and masterfully done there. It's 0-2. 0-2 pitch. Roller just wide of third and foul. It will stay at 0-2. So the champions from the West. The number 2 seed. The regular season in danger of going down here early outside. A little bit low in 1-2. Swenson, 91 pitches, 63 strikes, 8 strikeouts, and he hits his 3rd batter of the game. And Gross hit right between the 1 and the 5 of the back of the gray and black jersey. He's going to get a moment to try and walk that off. It looked like he got him right in the middle of the back, too. So 3rd hit batsman. Sam Luton, strikeout victim in the 3rd and the 5th, will hit. I'm sure that one still kind of stings as umpire Kelly McNary just giving him a moment and just making sure that he is fully ready to go, and gives Kelly a nod and says, "I'm ready." Sam Luton, the batter. Hour 50 on this one. This is the longest game of day 1 time-wise. And the delivery. There's a strike, 0-1. He did shorten up, but didn't fully square. And really, I don't know at this point you can afford to exchange outs to advance base runners. You're down to your final 3. You got to somehow get Luton on here in the delivery. He will try to bunt, offers at it. And the throw back to first. They had a chance to get him. But able to scamper back was Gross. Packer caught it and was just trying to get the glove and the ball to a spot where he thought Gross would be, and Gross able to scamper and dive past him. 2 strikes the count. Swing and a miss. Ball is dropped. They'll throw down to second, not in time. The batter is out. Luton is a strikeout victim for the 3rd time tonight. Gross reaches second on the drop ball. And there's 1 down. Strikeout number 9 now for Jorgen Swenson. Cameron Wolf, the batter. Doubled in the 3rd over Pulaski's head into left center field. And flied to right in the 5th. And Wolf pops one up here. Might be playable. Doctor trying to find it. He'll be called off. Swenson makes the foul ball catch and 2 down. Second time we've seen Jorgen just take charge on a ball. Like Doctor had a better read on that one, but that was Jorgen Swenson saying, "That's my ball, I'll take it." 2 away. And Easton Huglin, the batter, 96 pitches now for Swenson. 105 is the limit. So he's got 9 pitches in the satchel. Ball 1 to Huglin. 105 the limit for the day. And of course, if you reach that in the middle of an at-bat, you are allowed to finish that at-bat, and then that is it. Swing and a miss. Tardy in a fastball. When he's reared back and got something extra out of that fastball, the Volunteer hitters have not caught up very often. 1-1. Outside, that one off the mitt of Doctor. And on to third goes Gross. Be a pass ball charge to Jeremiah Doctor, and really that run at third right now doesn't mean a whole lot. Or it's no, was it no pitch? Oh, it was a balk? Okay, so a balk was called, so it's no pitch. Balk was called on Swenson. So no pass ball. He's at third and a foul ball. So that was no pitch. It is a 1-1 count. Make it 1-2 the count now to Hughlin. And the fact that it was no pitch, that's with his pitch limit getting to the limit, or his pitch count getting to the limit, it's a big thing. Down the right field line and foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 100 now for Swenson. So if Hughlin would reach, you'd get Soblik up as the tying run. And that potentially could be the last batter. Fastball, strike 3. That ends up being the last batter. Jorgen Swenson throws a gem. 10 strikeouts and gets Hughlin looking to finish it. And it's time for a selfie out in center field, which becomes the norm after a Viking victory. Mason Almaris leads the way, and the boys know what to do from there. So Kindred will advance. The East makes it a clean sweep, as the Haymakers, the Vikings, the Vets, and Wahpeton Post 20 will make it an all-East winners bracket in the second round. No runs, no hits, 1 left on, and Kindred moves on with a 4-1 victory. There you look at the final totals. We'll come back with our post-game wrap-up after this on Magnitude Sports.
Bar 9 in West Fargo is your stop for that pregame lunch and for the postgame celebration. With over 30 TVs, you can catch your team anytime. We have a delicious food menu including wings, pizza, sandwiches, and more. Enjoy it inside or head on outside, day or night, to relax in the comfort of our updated outdoor patio. We also have slots, blackjack, pull tabs, and all gaming proceeds earned go to support West Fargo baseball. So catch your team's game tonight at Bar 9, 1405 Prairie Parkway in West Fargo.
Player of the game, and there'll be no arguments from this side of the press box. Jorgen Swenson, the player of the game here, as he goes the distance. A 4-hitter, 10 strikeouts, and did it on 101 pitches. The final totals you see there: 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors, and 10 left on for the victorious Vikings. Volunteers 1 run, 4 hits, and 2 errors. So the East wins, and they outscore their counterparts from the West by a count of 27-1. 4-1 your final, as the Vikings got a couple early, added a pair of runs late, and it was more than enough the way Jorgen Swenson was going. So 7 innings for Swenson, 4 hits, 1 run. Didn't walk a batter, he hit 3 and struck out 10 to pick up the win. Losing pitcher, and Will Eason really pitched a nice game. 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 of them earned. He walked 5 and did not strike out a batter. Anderson pitches a scoreless 7th and 1 walk in there. But a scoreless 7th inning as the Vikings got 2, a couple of 2-out hits. Scored the first 2 runs of the game. Jack Packer, an RBI double, a 2-out double into the alley in left center, scoring Mason Almaris to give the Vikings an early 1-0 lead. Graham Glasso followed with a base hit, scoring Packer to make it 2-0. Vikings had a chance to add on in the 5th. They had the bases loaded, 1 out. Christian Tibor picking off Mason Almaris at third for the 2nd out, and then they had the bases reloaded with 2 out. Glasso lined out to left to end that threat, and then got a pair of runs in the 6th. Doctor reaching on a throwing error charge to Sobolik at second. Bryce Whipple hit into a fielder's choice. Sander Rath ran for him at first, stole second. Jorgen Swenson walked. Stan Belaski doubled in Rath to make it 3-0, and Mason Almaris, a sacrifice fly to right center, brought home Swenson to give Kindred a 4-0 advantage, and the Volunteers got to the board in the 6th. Sobolik, a leadoff single, base hit to right, went to second on a wild pitch. Will Easom followed with a single, and then a delayed double steal got Sobolik home to make it 4-1, but Swenson recovered nicely, struck out Danbaum, got Tibor to fly to right, and then a pop-up to short, retired Kevin Olson, and that was the last real rally for the Volunteers in a 4-1 win. So we can pull up the bracket right now. Chris will do that. So there you see the bracket. As that is, there you see, let's full screen that for you. There you see the East victorious. And they'll be in the winner's bracket games tomorrow. Wahpeton to the West Fargo Vets at 4, followed by, looky here, Castleton and Kindred at 6:30. So 2 old rivals will square off with a fair amount to play for tomorrow night. Their first meeting since a doubleheader back on June 9th. That'll cap off day number 2. And the loser out games starting at 11 a.m. with Watford City. The Walleye will take on the Bismarck Senators, followed by the Bismarck Capitals and Dickinson, and those are elimination games at 11 and 1:30. So there's a full look. There is a full look at the bracket. Day 2 coming up tomorrow. In about 14 hours or so, we'll be back for more here from the Viking Varsity Diamonds here on this one. So there you take a look at the bracket, and we will put this one to rest. We'll see you tomorrow for full day of coverage with 4 games starting at just before 11 a.m. For Chris Hovden and for Mike Mason and Mike Bernier, I'm Brad Anderson. As we're repeating the final in this one, Post 117 Vikings, the host Vikings, win on the home diamond, a 4-1 win over the Dickinson Volunteers. We'll talk to you tomorrow from Viking Varsity Diamonds. So long, have a great night.
Broadcast was an exclusive presentation of the Magnitude Sports Network. Subscribe, click the bell, and visit magnitudesn.com for a schedule of our upcoming broadcasts.